Where's your emergency?
Hello.
Hello. Is everything okay?
My mommy and daddy.
Uh-huh.
I think there's a bullet on the floor.
There's a what?
And there's blood coming out of my dad's mouth, and he fell off the bed.
He did. Where's Mommy at?
I don't know. I think they're dead.
What do you mean, sweetheart?
I don't know.
Okay, your daddy's on the floor. How old are you?
I'm 5 years old, and I have a dog in the house.
Okay, baby, okay. Let me get something right over to you. Did you go in your mommy and daddy's room?
And there's blood.
All over the place?
Not all over. There's blood on the bed and blood on the floor.
Oh, my goodness. And you have your little doggie with you?
And 3 cats.
Well, and you got some cats, too?
3 cats and 1 dog.
Okay. Are you the only one there besides Mommy and Daddy?
And I said Mommy and Daddy, and they didn't even answer.
Okay. Okay, what I want you to do, honey, I want you to stay on the phone with me. What is your name? Oh, that's a very pretty name.
Actually, it's
Oh, I'm so sorry. That is a beautiful name. What's your doggie's name?
Liza.
Okay. And what made you wake up tonight?
I think I heard a gunshot.
You heard a gun?
Yes, and I see a bullet laying on the floor. I think it's a bullet.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Who has a gun in the house?
I don't see a gun, but I'm scared.
Oh, sweetheart, I will not let anything happen to you.
Can you send the deputy down?
I promise I will. And you're only 5 years old?
Mm-hmm.
You are so smart for 5 years old. Wow. Are you off of school this week?
No, I go to school next year.
You do? Oh my gosh, you're not even in kindergarten yet?
No.
Oh, what's your doggie's name?
Liza.
Liza. What kind of doggie is she?
She's a lab.
Oh my God, I love those. Those are so beautiful. Is she a black lab or is she a yellow lab?
A black lab.
Oh my, you are so smart.
With, brown eyes.
Oh my goodness, how old is she?
She's like 3 years old or 2 years old. I don't really know.
Wow. You can remember her for a long time, huh?
Yep.
Oh my goodness. Was there anybody else in the house besides you and Mommy and Daddy tonight? Like an uncle or anything?
No, there's no robber in the house.
Okay, well I didn't think there'd be a robber, sweetheart. Did you have anybody staying over the night with you guys tonight?
Mm-mm.
Okay. You staying over the night with you guys tonight?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So and the doors are all locked and everything like that. Where are you in the house?
Well, I was in my room sleeping until I heard a noise shot and it woke me up.
Oh my goodness. What part of the house are you in at now?
I'm in the one, it's yellow, a whole yellow house, a green with it, a little bit of green, and a pink door.
Oh my goodness, that sounds really cool. Did you pick out the pink door?
No, my mom picked out the colors.
Look, I bet that's beautiful. Does Mommy and Daddy have a car in the driveway?
2 cars.
2 cars? What kind of cars do they have?
My mom has a Toyota.
What color is that Toyota? Is it dark or gray or silver?
It's red.
Red? Okay. What kind of car does Daddy have?
He has a Jeep. It's black and white.
Listen to me. Is your phone the kind of phone you can take with you and walk around? There should be an officer at your front door. I need for you to take your phone with you and walk over to the door and open it for me, okay? And I'm going to stay on the phone with you, okay?
But,
I will not hang up.
I'm naked.
Oh, well, you want to go grab a towel or something? I don't think the officer's going to care, baby. We just want to make sure Mommy and Daddy are okay, all right? Grab a blanket or something. Stay on the phone with me. Stay on the phone, all right?
Okay.
My name's Donna, by the way. You are doing a wonderful job. Wonderful job.
And I knew what to do for safer dog.
You did great.
I knew.
You are wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. You should be very proud of yourself.
I'm to the door. I'm unlocking it.
Okay. You let me know when the officer talks to you. Okay, you go ahead, Tay. You talk to the officer.
Talking to the dispatcher? Okay, tell her I'm here now, okay? You can hang up.
Bye, sweetheart.
He's here.
Okay, sweetheart. You be good, okay? Bye-bye.
In the early hours of March 28, 2005, a chilling 911 call came through from a young girl. 5-year-old Tia Hernlen, her voice laced with fear and confusion, reached out for help after making a devastating discovery. Her parents, Julie Morgan Hernlen and Aeneas Hernlen, were lying motionless in their bedroom, covered in blood. 911, what's your emergency? Came the calm voice of dispatcher Donna Tufani on the other end of the line. Hello? Hello? Tia's small voice wavered. Is everything okay? My mommy and daddy, I think there's a bullet on the floor. A bullet? What do you mean? And there's blood coming out of my daddy's mouth. He fell off the bed. He did? Where's your mommy? I don't know. I think they are dead. Tia's words sent a chill through the dispatcher. The little girl explained that she had woken up to a loud noise, what she believed was a gunshot, before discovering the terrifying scene. She spoke in remarkable detail for her age, describing blood on the floor and a nearby plant. Despite the unimaginable trauma, she remained composed as Donna gently kept her talking, trying to reassure her. Thank you for watching this heartbreaking yet important story. Let me know in the comments, where are you watching from? I'd love to hear from you. And if you found this case compelling, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Keeping Tia engaged, Donna continued asking her questions, trying to distract her from the horror unfolding around her. When officers finally arrived at the Hernlen residence, they found young Tia still clutching the phone, talking to Donna. They carefully ushered her out of the home before stepping into the gruesome scene. Julie had succumbed to her injuries, while Aeneas, barely clinging to life, was rushed to the hospital. Tragically, he did not survive. Investigators quickly honed in on a suspect, David Edward Johnson, 33-year-old man with a vendetta against the Hernlens. Convinced they had played a role in his previous drug-related arrest, though in reality, they had nothing to do with it, Johnson had been harassing and stalking the couple for months. Authorities learned that Julie Hernlen had previously sought a restraining order against a man named David Edward Johnson, a 33-year-old who had been harassing and stalking the family. Julie had been deeply concerned for their safety. She meticulously documented every time Johnson drove by their home, called them, or made disturbing threats. She followed all the proper legal steps, hoping for protection. However, when her request for an injunction landed before a judge, it was denied. The court cited a lack of evidence of direct violence, making it difficult to justify legal action. Johnson, convinced that the Hernlens had played a role in his 2004 drug arrest, even though they had nothing to do with it, had allowed his anger to spiral into obsession. Julie had feared the worst. And 2 months later, her fears became reality. For months, David Johnson had been fixated on the Hernlen family, relentlessly stalking and harassing them. In his mind, Julie and Aeneas were responsible for his November 2004 arrest on charges of cultivating marijuana and possessing steroids. However, law enforcement had confirmed that the couple had nothing to do with his legal troubles. Despite this, Johnson refused to let go of his belief that they had played a role in his downfall. Julie was deeply troubled by Johnson's behavior and feared for her family's safety. She confided in friends about how his actions were destroying their lives, expressing growing concern over his disturbing obsession. Refusing to sit idly by, she began meticulously documenting every interaction, noting the dates, times, and details of every call, threat, or instance of him driving past their home. In an effort to seek protection, Julie formally filed for a restraining order. However, when the case reached a judge, the request was denied due to a lack of physical violence at that point. The legal system failed to recognize the danger looming over her family. Devastated and frustrated, Julie called her friend Rebecca Redick, sobbing. She was certain something terrible was going to happen. "If I'm not here next week, this is why. And this is who did it," she reportedly told her friend. The weight of her words was chilling. The most painful part, according to Redick, was that authorities had done nothing to intervene. Though Johnson had been charged earlier that year with misdemeanor stalking, he was never arrested. That decision would prove fatal. With both Julie and Aeneas Hernlen murdered, law enforcement wasted no time identifying their prime suspect, David Edward Johnson. When officers went to his residence to arrest him, they were met with yet another grim discovery. Johnson had already taken his own life. Inside his home, investigators found chilling evidence of his deep-seated obsession. Newspaper clippings of his November arrest were taped to his refrigerator, alongside documents related to his upcoming trial. Sheriff Ben Johnson later commented on the unsettling find, noting that it was as if Johnson had been completely consumed by his rage and delusions. The aftermath of the tragedy left lingering questions. How could this have been prevented? And why had the system failed to act before it was too late? Following the murders, young Tia was placed in the care of her grandparents. The community rallied around her, offering support and even establishing a trust fund in her name to help secure her future. Meanwhile, law enforcement and legal officials faced backlash for failing to protect the Hernlens. Julie had done everything right, documenting the stalking, seeking legal protection, yet the system had failed her. Following the tragic loss of her parents, Tia Hernlen went to live with her grandparents in Central Florida. While no environment could fully erase the trauma she had endured, this transition provided her with a stable and loving home during an incredibly painful and confusing time. To help secure her future, a trust fund was established in her name at Gulf States Credit Union. The fund was designed to support her upbringing and education, ensuring that financial challenges wouldn't stand in the way of her well-being. In the wake of the tragedy, the community rallied around Tia, offering their sympathy, support, and resources to make sure she received the care she desperately needed. Both Tia and 911 dispatcher Donna Ciufani were widely praised for their extraordinary composure during the emergency call. Sheriff Ben Johnson remarked on Tia's remarkable ability to remain calm despite the horrifying circumstances, saying, "Her composure was unbelievable given what she had just witnessed. She was an incredible little girl. The clarity and detail she provided, most adults wouldn't have been able to do the same." For Donna, the call was one she would never forget. She later expressed her hope that one day she might have the chance to meet Tia in person and embrace her. While it's unclear whether that meeting ever took place, the impact Donna had that night was undeniable. She demonstrated not only professionalism but also immense compassion, providing comfort to a terrified child in one of the worst moments of her life. In the aftermath of the murders, Julie Hernlen's family was vocal about their anger and frustration toward law enforcement and the legal system. They firmly believed that more could, and should, have been done to protect Julie Aeneas from David Edward Johnson. In an email sent to a local newspaper after the murders, Julie's family expressed their heartbreak and frustration, revealing that during one of her final conversations with law enforcement, she had asked, "Does he have to kill me before you do something?" Despite the outrage, Sheriff Ben Johnson defended his department's actions, stating that officers had warned David Johnson to stay away from the Hernlens. Authorities had previously warned David Johnson to stay away from the Hernlen family, but their warnings did little to deter him. Sheriff Ben Johnson later described the situation as deeply troubling, stating, "This was a terrible case, something no one ever wants to see happen. But when you're dealing with someone who is this obsessed, they can be incredibly difficult to stop." After hearing about the murders, Circuit Judge Richard Graham, who had denied Julie Hernlen's request for a restraining order, expressed his deep regret. He explained that when the case file first came across his desk, it lacked substantial details. "Had I received more information, I believe I would have granted the injunction. Looking back, I would have handled things differently, but each case is evaluated individually based on the details provided at the time." However, Sheriff Ben Johnson stood by the belief that a restraining order would not have made a difference in this case. "An injunction only works when someone is willing to follow the law," he explained. This man was determined to carry out his plan. The only way to have truly stopped him would have been to put him in jail and keep him there. And unfortunately, there wasn't enough to justify that at the time. In the years following the tragedy, Tia Hernlen and her family pursued legal action, filing a wrongful death lawsuit against David Johnson's estate. The suit sought damages for emotional distress, mental anguish, and the profound loss Tia suffered as a result of her parents' deaths. The lawsuit emphasized the horrifying reality that Johnson had been fully aware that Tia, just 5 years old, would likely be the one to discover the crime scene. He left her to face an unimaginable nightmare, an act of cruelty that deepened the wounds left by his violent actions. Unfortunately, little is publicly known about the outcome of the lawsuit, as information on the case remains scarce. As of 2023, Tia Hernlen would be around 23 years old. However, very little is known about her life today, which is understandable given the trauma she endured at such a young age. One can only hope that she has found peace, healing, and success in her adult life. Given her remarkable composure during that harrowing 911 call, it's clear that she possesses an extraordinary level of strength and resilience, qualities that no doubt helped her move forward despite the devastating loss she experienced. Tia's bravery on that call stands as a testament not only to her own courage but also to the loving and supportive environment her parents created for her. Julie Aeneas Hernlen raised a child who, in the face of unthinkable horror, had the strength to seek help and communicate clearly, even at just 5 years old. As always, our hearts go out to the Hernlen family, especially to Tia, who was forced to endure what no child should ever have to experience. May Julie Aeneas rest in peace.